Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everybody. It's another Thursday, and here we are in the RGV coming at you from 97.7 KCYP, the city, McAllen, Texas. We are filming on this beautiful Thursday here in the McAllen Creative Incubator. We're also going out on YouTube. We're going out on Facebook, both the 97.7 YouTube's Facebooks and the Bitcoin Otter YouTube's YouTube and Facebook. Awesome to see. I'm going to be getting in right now. We got a great show for you today. I am happy to tell you that, believe it or not, some interesting things are happening. Yes. And we don't want to forget the most important thing, in my opinion, about this show is your participation. So you got something? Throw it out there. We'll discuss it. You know something more than I do, which is not hard. Let me know. You want me to dig into something? I'll do that too. What we'll do is work together so we're all better informed. Thank you very much. Now, let's see. I don't see. Let's see. Is anybody on? And go to Matt's on already. All right. Good to see you, Matt. So we're going to go down memory lane today, Matt. And there will be some things that you recognize very easily as we go on here today. But first, let's go into the economic barometer according to the Otter. The reason I do this, by the way, this economic barometer is because the central banks, okay, and the fat cats who own them in a certain club that you're not a member of, they want us to think that it's the stock market that is the true barometer of the economy. And if the stock market's good, oh, we're all good, right? Well, wrong. What they like to do is they like to pump and then they dump. They pump and they dump, right? But especially in times like these where things are pretty much crappy all the way around, what they like to do is pump up the market, get us to go into it, and then at some point that they only they know, they will pull the rug out from under us, and bada bing, bada boom, as my friends from New York say, it's all over. But, you know, the fat lady's singing. Two things, says Matt. One, can I get a big shout out to my boy Jared? Jared, we know you're coming back to the reservation, Jared. So everything's gonna be fine. But there's your shout out, Matt. Jared's our guy. Hopefully he'll be on today and he can let us know what it is he wants to talk about. In fact, I got a few things that he will be interested in. So this economic barometer, according to the Otter, looks at things that they don't tell necessarily the story or the tale of the tape of the stock market of your particular investments, unless you're in, gold and silver or Bitcoin. But what they do is these items will tell you where the dollar is. Now, it's also murky because the usual suspects, they know, these bankers, they know that it's very obvious if gold, silver skyrockets, right? They know these things. So they manipulate the silver, the precious metal markets, right? So they still cannot do everything. They can't control it all. So we can use these things within the channel that they have set criminally throughout generations. We can see still signs of the weakening of the dollar. And that, to me, is our biggest danger right now for the average family because, well, if your dollar isn't worth anything and your job pays you in dollars, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go, right? That's why we have the Bitcoin Otter Show. Anyway, so gold pre-show, $2,235 an ounce. That's a pretty big hike. I don't know the percentages on it, but from last week, it wasn't that much, that's for sure. Silver, $22.98, creeping up on 23 cents an ounce, or $23 an ounce. So that's kind of in a range, but still high within that range. Bitcoin, 51,667 Federal Reserve notes will get you one Bitcoin. But I got to remind everybody, ladies and gents, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin, okay? People are like, well, I don't have that much money. No, we don't have that much money. However, if we are disciplined, someday we will. Why? Because Bitcoin, and this is a proverb I know, Bitcoin's going to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. Get on the bus. This is my opinion. I have no tie, okay? I have no blue blood, Italian, German. I am not a financial advisor. So I cannot advise you on financial things. I can only give you places to look that you may or may not want to use to further edify your knowledge to protect your family and yourself from financial. I think it's going to be worse than a downturn. I really do. But, that's me. Ian, good to see you, Ian. Matt, your second thing, AT&T going down today. I got it, brother. I got it. Yeah. Glitch or planned event for something more sinister. I think it's a little bit of both and then an added element, but we're going to touch on that. Did you guys face any, got the guys in the studio, you guys face any alterings of your cell phone or your signal?
Most of the day, yeah.
Most of the day?
Most
yeah.
of the day was all, the only reason I had access to anything was because of the internet. Other than that, my phone was like on SOS.
Yeah, mine too. So yeah, we're, here in the studio, we were dealing with it too, but we're going to come back strong, everybody. But remember, and I don't know how avid of a watcher you are, but we have warned on this show, okay, of a coming cyber attack, or at the very least, a cyber security scare, okay? This is all playing into this thing that Matt's talking about, the sinister edge of it. So we're going to go there. Jim, good to see you. Sue, how you doing? And if Jim and Sue are here, I bet my dad is watching. Dad, I love you, Dad. Marianne Martinez is watching. Good to see you, Mary. So, and we're going to talk about something right up your alley, Mary. In a minute here, we're going to go to one of those barometers I'm talking about that you know all too well as a real estate agent, the average mortgage rate. Okay, it's going up, ladies and gents, and I feel for those that are forced to buy or sell. But hey, sometimes things happen in life, and we got to buy and we got to sell. It's just the way things are. The 30-year mortgage rate. And by the way, I want to recover this. Mortgage, it's a mort and it's a gauge, right? So it's kind of like mort being, a deathly thing, and an engagement with that deathly thing, and that's a mortgage. But because our economy has been so weighted down, if you will, harried with HARRIED, I'm just coming up with words here, by the Federal Reserve, our economy, in a term, sucks. Yeah. So because of that, the US dollar and these mortgage rates also suck. So the fact of the matter is, if you got to buy right now, you find somebody that's going to be able to put you in the best position you can. Okay. As real estate goes, you're going to get a little bit of a break if you go to the 15-year rate, which is 6.59%. Okay. So these things, Tony, Big T, good to see you. So these are the things that we, chattel, we little people, I guess, have to deal with. The Rothschilds, I can assure you, are not worried about the mortgage rate. In fact, they want to jack it up. And they will. They will. Oh, before I forget, as I go into some Bitcoin news, the Otter has been rebanked. And I'll go into this in a little bit of detail if we have some extra time. But I, the CEO of Bitcoin Otter, have, I make that sound so important. Anyway, I found another bank. Thank God. So I'll get with you on that. So Bitcoin news, Coinbase. If you don't know, Coinbase is among other things, it's an exchange where you can buy and sell cryptos. Coinbase CEO, every institution is now starting to hold crypto. Haven't we been telling you this, ladies and gentlemen? We don't need no CEO from Coinbase to tell us these things. Every institution is now starting to hold crypto. Why? Why, ladies and gentlemen? Ask yourselves why every institution is now holding crypto. Because it's smart. I'm not the smart guy here. I've admitted that the whole time. Okay? C. Martinez is watching. And Joe Paredes, my fellow Buffalo Bills fan, is watching today. Man, I hope you're done beating up on those 49er fans. Man, you were brutal. Of course, they were brutal to you too. So, Coinbase, every institution is now starting to hold crypto. The asset class, this is for Bitcoin news, by the way, if you want to look this up. The asset class will be a standard part of every diversified portfolio. Interesting. Something we might have been saying here. Moreover, the executive noted that institutions will eventually be using crypto in other ways. I've been saying this, okay? Please know that I don't keep you in the dark about these things. You may have to go into the archives, perhaps, of the Bitcoin Otter shows. And I think that in the future, hopefully I'll get some assistance, one of those social media gurus or something, to put like tags on the episodes. But yeah, there's a million different applications for cryptos. And not all of them are good, obviously, but some are going to make our life a lot easier. So these other ways, according to Coinbase CEO, are holding it on their balance sheet, which we know because, as we've discussed, Bitcoin is now a class, the highest class tier of assets, along with gold and real estate. So holding it on their balance sheet, paying their vendors, and doing payroll. This comes back, ladies and gents, this comes back to what we've been saying. There will need to be an alternative economy. It's going to have to happen. As the US dollar craps, as it dumps, as it spews, as it, whatever you want to use, we're going to need something to get into to, assist ourselves, our family. That's called the alternative economy, the parallel economy, some would say. So you don't have to guess what I would say that parallel. Ismail, how you doing, brother? I know, at some point or another, it's going to be Bitcoin. Okay. So if you want to be ahead of that curve, if you want to be ahead of the game, if you want to grab now, then you do it. If you don't, you don't. You don't. That's it. That's just it. So also in crypto news is from cryptonews.com. UK Law Commission seeks to classify cryptocurrencies as property in new draft bill. Now, at first I saw that and I was like, okay, property, that's not too bad because we here in the United States have what's called the Fourth Amendment and we have security for our persons and our property. That is good here in the US, but in the UK, who knows what they really want to do, but they might give us a little bit of an inkling in this article. For example, this is from Crypto News. For example, if digital assets are subject to a legal dispute where the holder could dissipate those assets before the dispute is resolved, a court could order a proprietary freezing injunction. Ding, 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 UK. We now know exactly what you plan on doing. Thank you for that heads up. To them, property is something that is owned by them. The cabal, the deep state, the, whatever you want to call them, the mafia, the KM. Okay? Now, a remedy already available for traditional forms of property, which of course they think they own everything. Everything. So, UK Law Commission, you can, you know what you can do, UK Law Commission. Anyway, Newsweek. We're moving off of crypto now. Pro-Trump trucker calling for New York City boycott backs down. Now, I know you guys were paying attention to this for a while. I know some of you were. You had to be, right? There was a trucker out there, and he went viral apparently, and he was calling for a boycott, which I stood behind. I mean, I don't have anything to do with the whole thing anyway. But I think someone got to him. Why? Because he backed down. Now, not only did he back down, in my opinion, not only did he back down because, maybe it was a bad idea, and it might have been. I don't know. I mean, when you think about it, not just the evil sons of, what, we're going to suffer from that. But who knows? Maybe school kids wouldn't get their school lunches on. I don't know, but it would have been ugly, and somebody talked them down. However, I have a hunch, I have a gut feeling because I've gotten into this stuff for a long time, and I don't own a tinfoil hat for nothing. Give me some credit here, will you, please? So I think somebody got to him. I don't know if you remember that old, I think it was Payback or something like that. It was an old Mel Gibson movie where he woke up one day and went to get some milk, and bam, there was some guy in his kitchen. I think there was some guy in that trucker's kitchen. Do they have a kitchen in trucks? I don't know. What do you think, Rainier? Did they have like little kitchenettes in the back of a truck, or I don't know. Maybe they do. I mean, some of them are pretty nice in those big rigs. Anyway, I missed the headline here. Okay, so it's the boycott, right? So President Donald Trump's civil fraud penalty is back down. This guy has backed down on his earlier statements, deleting posts and sharing a retraction. Just to be clear, he says, I'm no figurehead of any movement. See, he's disavowing that, and that's probably true. I mean, the guy just puts it out there for people that he knows, and he becomes this viral. Whatever the algorithm didn't catch, they didn't catch this guy's video. Chicago Ray is his name. I'm not leading, nor have I encouraged, nor see they probably use some. These are not in my experience. These are not words of a trucker. Okay, and I love truckers. Okay, I love y'all, but these words are not words of a trucker. Maybe a trucker's lawyer, but not a trucker. So he was clear to say, I'm not leading, nor have I encouraged, or am I encouraging anyone to do anything other than what they were doing prior to the ruling on Friday in New York City. That sounded very legalese to me and not truckerish at all. Other proposal, okay, and this is well, let me get onto the gateway, right? Because, well, here's where I wanted to go with this. That came out on Newsweek, okay? That little ditty there came out on Gabe, good to see you. Mikey Valdez. Hey, Mikey. Mikey Valdez is a Chiefs fan, but don't hold it against him, everyone. Anyway, love you, Mike. What if we were to do a Where Are the Losers Now thing? And you know what? Hold me on this. Hold me to account on this. When the boss gets back in 2025, okay, and they have all these hit pieces that mock the boss, that mock Donald Trump, that mock, what he's doing, that mock him because, well, he's being persecuted right now. So he's easily mockable to these fools. So what if we were to do a Where Are the Losers Now bit every episode? I think that would be good. Once we get into the recovery and the economy starts ripping and roaring in 2025, everybody's got a job, we could save, there's a parallel economy that's worth something, the dollar is crapped out, whatever. I think we ought to do that. This is an interesting one here. The Gateway Pundit had a one-on-one with Kash Patel. Matt, I know you know who Kash Patel is. How many others know who Kash Patel is? Okay? And the reason, you're welcome, Mike. The reason why I tell you that Kash Patel is important is because he was one of those very close to Trump who didn't stab him in the back and gives out a lot of information, if you know what I mean. But, and I want to, preface this, and I want to go through this step by step. The information that gets out there, ladies and gents, is not the information that goes out on the TV, the boob tube. And if it is, it's always going to have a backstory that you would pay attention to more than whatever the splash or the headline is. And let me give you some examples of that. Jaime, good to see you. And I'm going to break on this right now because Jaime's in the house. Jaime, you mentioned that the other day, and I felt kind of bad because I didn't remember Carlos Danger was actually the wiener instead of John Podesta. So in light of that, Jaime, I think that we ought to come up with an AKA for you. Okay. Anybody have any ideas? And I have mine. Jaime, what would you think a good, Carlos Danger, sounds like somebody really, really cool, but then, Anthony Weiner did it no justice. So let's come up with something for Jaime. Okay. Let's come up with an AKA for Jaime. And I think that'd be something interesting to see what we can do for that. The Hammer, says Jaime himself. Yeah, self-named The Hammer. Okay, there might be something better out there, but for right now, it's The Hammer. So these losers at Newsweek, okay, have given way to a story from the Gateway Pundit. An exclusive one-on-one Kash Patel, okay? Kash says, well, look, to me, it's always helpful when you identify government corruption that you identify the actors. Now, we're going to hear some names we haven't heard in a while, ladies and gents, and this is going to bring you up to speed. Okay? Who are the players behind it, says Kash Patel. And I've always said Gina Haspel. Remember that name? Gina Haspel is one of the leading Russiagate architects. What's Russiagate? Remember everybody, Russia. Okay? Trump is in the pocket of Russia. He's a Russian agent, this, that, the other. Right? So Gina Haspel, according to Kash Patel, and many of us who pay attention, was one of the leading Russiagate architects who remained behind the scenes. She would go on to become Trump's director of Central Intelligence Agency. Gee, where have we heard of those guys before? Kash Patel. We still don't have all the documents. Here we go, ladies and gents. Here we go. You ready for a ride? Here we go. We still don't have all the documents, he says, which means they have all the documents. We answered all those questions in a 17-page report. Matt, what letter of the alphabet coincides with the number 17? Can you please throw that up there, Matt? I know Nora and Luis Rocha are watching. I know you know, Matt. I hope you're still on. There's a number. It's called alphanumeric, okay? I'm not a cryptographer, but it's used to give code back messages to people, okay? So Kash Patel, one of the most important people in all this, Matt says Q. You're right on, Matt. The 17th letter of the alphabet. Do you think that's a coincidence that this report, okay, of Russiagate, where the Obama administration was spying on Donald Trump, do you think that being a 17-page report and you do, don't you? You do think that's a coincidence. Anyway, some of you know a little bit better. The single most important figure in blocking the release of that report on the ICA is Gina Haspel, and it never got out. She was the gatekeeper. Where does this come in, Otter? What do we need to know this for? Get into that. Kash Patel says, Cipollone and Barr and Rosenstein. Ooh, Cipollone was new to me. Maybe not to all you guys that are really hawks of this stuff. Barr, of course, is that big round guy who was also in the Bush administration. And Rosenstein, right? Rod Rosenstein, a criminal in the FBI. And others, they blocked the release of this binder. We're going to get back to this binder, ladies and gents. I'm taking you somewhere. Don't worry. I'm going to tie this all together, okay? I won't forget. I know I'm, getting older, but yelling the same falsehoods about national security and sources are going to die, okay? Now, the binder, ladies and gentlemen, the binder, okay? We're going to get into this as we go a little bit further, okay? Because Rob, how you doing, Rob? Rob Hess is in the house. Say hi to Chappie for us. Tim Donovan, good to see you, Tim. We're getting into some stuff, Tim. We're talking about some old names, but they're coming up again for a reason. Gina Haspel, Barr, and Rosenstein. So this binder, okay, this binder had all the documents of Russiagate. Now, if you're wondering what the big deal of Russiagate is and you want to put it into perspective, imagine Watergate times about 1 million. Really. I don't know that that's hyperbole. That might be exaggerated slightly, but not in the realm of hyperbole, I can assure you. Russiagate dwarfs the whole Watergate thing. Anyway, this also rolls in, and I'm going to tie it all in a knot. Well, a bow, so it's easy to untie for you. Turmoil at CBS. Catherine Herridge, ladies and gentlemen, one of the very, very few actual journalists, was sacked. No, don't get me wrong. Don't take that in the pejorative term, please. She was not that way. She was fired, okay? Fired. Now, there's calling it a layoff, and others went too, but that's just subterfuge, okay? Catherine Herridge is involved in getting some of this information out to us. One of the very best. And what happens to the very best in journalism? They go. They're gone, right? They get rid of those dudes. Tucker Carlson, gone. Now Gina Haspel, gone. There's others. Can't think of them off the top of my head because there's not that many, frankly. Journalism is a cesspool. I said that, not you. Anyway, so Catherine Herridge got fired. She got canned. Now, the interesting part of this, and Matt's got something to say here, the New York judge presiding over the former President Donald Trump's civil fraud case has denied his legal team's request, see more, to avoid paying $355 million in the case. Yeah, I know. That's crazy. Jeannie, good to see you, Jeannie. That's crazy. I know it is, Matt. But we're gonna tie all this in. Just hang on just a minute. Matt's chomping at. I would imagine, he's got like a bag of Cheetos. Probably fuzzy hands by now. I mean, they're literally fuzzy with Cheeto, debris. Anyway, here's what's going on with Catherine Herridge. Great journalist. Now, in that 17th letter movement, okay, Q, they have a couple drops that, maybe more, that involve following the pen. And when Catherine Herridge reports, she will normally take a shot, a photo of what she's working on, and there will be a pen. Okay, so she might be talking about something in the document that she's shown you. She's showing you in her social media post or whatever. So she'll show you a document in that post, and on the document will be something or other that she mentions in the post. But the pen, ladies and gentlemen, will be pointing right at what she's trying to get across. The message, the underlying message that she's trying to get across, which is what Kash Patel was doing here with this binder that he was talking about. And I'm going to tie that up. I know I'm making you wait, but just a minute. I'm going to tie it in just a minute. So Catherine Herridge would use this pen bit gig, whatever you want to call it, to point to the thing that she really wanted you to look at. Now, according to a senior investigative she was the senior investigative correspondent. The action included materials that may reveal information about confidential sources. So there's information out there about confidential sources regarding Russiagate. Okay, so they get rid of Catherine Herridge because they couldn't get anywhere with her. I'm sure they tried to get her to reveal her sources. She did not. She was gone. Right now, as we know, Tucker Carlson came up smelling like a rose. So will she, because she's a patriot. There is trouble brewing at BlackRock. Oh, where did we hear that name before? The headquarters of CBS. Is it starting to come together, everybody? Is it starting to gel? I'm going to tie it up. Hang on. After the firing of Catherine Herridge, an acclaimed investigative reporter, of course, many of us were shocked after Herridge was included in the layoffs this month. I wasn't. But those concerns have increased. In fact, the layoffs were because of her. The layoffs is just a cover story. But those concerns have increased after CBS officials took the unusual step of seizing her files. Okay, they accused Trump of grabbing parts of women, but these people grabbed the files of that woman. Computers and records, including information on privileged sources. They grabbed her right in the privileged sources, ladies and gentlemen. We can't stand for this stuff. This is crazy. This is nuts. What do you got? It's amazing that this stuff is going on in this world, in this time. But, ladies and gents, first of all, God wins in the end. Second of all, he's taking us on a victory lap. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to tie it all together now. It's about time, Otter. Yeah, I know. I'm going to tie it all together. So, what do we have? We have Kash Patel coming on to, I can't remember what show he was on. Exclusive, The Gateway Pundit. Okay? So, he comes on, and he talks about Gina Haspel. He talks about this document file, this dossier of 17 pages. Then we hear Catherine Herridge is gone. She was fired, right? What are they talking about? What is this document? Do you want to know what the whole classified document scandal was all about? It was about the usual suspects looking for this 17-page document. That's what it was about. They were looking for it high and low. They went into Mar-a-Lago, busted into a locked and secured room, then into a locked and secured container. Why were they locked and secured? Because they were one time, not at that time, but were at one time classified information. Those were files that were classified. Well, they knew that, right? But what were they really looking for? When they went in with the raid and all that on Mar-a-Lago, did anybody raid, Mushmouth's garage? No, where he had those classified docs and the Chinese spies were going in and out of that rental house? No, the resident owned that house, okay? And he brought, as a senator and or a vice president, classified information to his rental house. You can't do that. Not as a senator or a vice president. You can't just look at a document and say, oh, this is declassified. Now a president can. And our president did. That's what makes this so egregious, the whole classified documents thing. Biden broke the law. Trump did not. Pretty simple. But laws don't mean anything to these people. Okay? So they were after that 17-page document. They were after many things, including Q. So Catherine Herridge is a patriot, but she is now collateral damage, but she will come up triumphant because once this whole battle, and we are in World War III, ladies and gentlemen, it's not hot, thank God, in this country yet. It's not hot. We're not asked to go to the front lines. We are the front lines. That's why we're doing this show. That's why I love this participation. Louis, good to see you. So we have things coming up. Why are they coming up? Why are they percolating now? Because there's something important about to happen, and I'm not going to let you be unawares. Why do you think, I don't know, I'm just asking you, Renee, why do you think people use the term unawares? I've seen that a lot. I read fairly often, and I don't know, it doesn't make sense, but I like to say it because, you know, it throws a little spice.
Yeah.
A little spice, yeah. Unawares. I don't want yous guys, y'all to be unawares. Caught unawares, you know, pants down, just got out of it. I don't know. I'm not going to go any further on that trail. Anyway, thousands of AT&T, here we go, Renee. This is what I asked about earlier. Thousands of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers hit by cellular outage across America, sparking fears of a possible cyber attack. Ladies and gentlemen, it's on. It is on. It is on. A possible cyber attack. This is something that we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the year, ladies and gentlemen. So get used to it. Buckle in. The outages reportedly began around 4 a.m. Eastern time and also affected thousands of customers with Verizon, T-Mobile, U.S. Cellular, Cricket, which also is part of AT&T, reported having 11,000 customers affected. I think that 11,000 is very much under-reported. And here's something interesting. Marco Rubio, I believe the jury's out on him. Mike, good to see you, Mike. I believe the jury's out on him, Marco Rubio, but he has a very interesting, prescient, if you will, comment on X. I don't know the cause of the AT&T outage. Well, thanks, Mark. But I do know it will be 100 times worse when China launches a cyber attack on America on the eve of a Taiwan invasion. What does he know that we don't know? And it won't be just cell service they hit. It will be your power, your water, and your bank. You want to hit somebody below the belt? You hit them in their power, their water, and then you go low. These communists love going low, and they get you right in the bank. They grab you by the bank. Yeah. So now, ladies and gentlemen, is it coming around? Okay, and I'm not being condescending here. Please, you guys are smarter than me. I have no dog in the hunt when it comes to this. I'm not saying this because you're not picking it up based on any intelligence levels. You are all very smart. Okay, what I'm getting at is we have so much distraction in our lives designed for us to be stressed about. Okay? We have our finances, we have our families, we have so many things that we have to juggle, plates to spin in our lives. And then they'll throw in racism. Okay? Then they'll throw in transgenderism. Then they'll throw in self-esteem. Okay? They want us to feel bad about ourselves. You know? Because we're too skinny, might have an eating disorder, too fat because, oh, wow, we're eating the wrong foods. High cholesterol, diabetes, you name it. They got one for you because we all have these little buttons in us that they love to press. But you know what really defuses all of that? Knowledge. Because knowledge is power. And through God, our creator, okay, who, in my belief, this is my belief, he, in some way, shape, or form, assisted our founding fathers in forming a great nation, at least the foundation for it. How many times can we read in the founding documents a godly message? Many times. If you've read them, you can find passages that relate to or point to our God. Okay? No, we're not a Christian nation. I won't say we are. But I will say that our foundations are solid. Okay? Our foundations are solid. So the criminals, the communists, the global criminal syndicate is trying to push us off of that mooring, and they've been doing it successfully, I might add, for generations. We are fighting back. Okay? We're fighting back. They are in a corner right now because there are good guys. There are white hats. There are patriots. Okay? Do they start with the letter Q? I don't know. You be the judge. But they have mounted an insurrection. The bad guys have mounted an insurrection. We are the counterinsurgency. Every time you get on social media and you point out their, the criminals' behavior, you point out their strategy, you're a digital warrior. You're a digital soldier. We don't have to be on the battlefield. We don't have to be giving $900 billion to Ukraine because we're not criminals. We don't have $900 billion. I don't know. Not on me. So what can we do? We can do what we're doing, which is exposing their evil. That's what we're doing. So Louis says that's why NVIDIA is soaring in the market. I'll be honest, Louis, I haven't followed this NVIDIA thing, but it's all over. Renee, you know anything about this NVIDIA thing? It's is it the same thing as the one of you guys, if you know, is it the same thing as those chips or those boards, those circuit boards that they use for fast computing? I don't know, like a gamer's type of outfit. I'm not sure, but maybe you can fill me in on that. But apparently their stocks are soaring. Now I don't know what the key behind all that is, but if you know anything, Louis, throw it at me here. So this is where I'm going with all this, is that they're going to try and cut off our power of water. But again, I don't believe it's going to be that bad. Do you maybe want to get extra food, water? Of course. Get food and water, man. That's like, step number one on things you want to do. I mean, I'm no expert. I've been looking at this for many years, but I'm no expert. I don't want to be called an expert. There's experts out there that don't even know what a woman is. Like that Supreme Court justice. I'm not a biologist, she said. A woman didn't know what a woman was. Just an example of where they've taken us now. So Mike says GPUs, yeah. So GPUs are being. So what does that mean? Maybe they're going to have to replace them after this cyber attack or something? Huh? Worth looking into. If nobody minds, they can send me an email at bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com and remind me, please, because as you can see, I've got some gray here. Might forget. Now, Zero Hedge. I hope public is waking up. Border invasion sparks migrant crime crisis in major cities. Border invasion. What do we know about a border invasion down here in South Texas? Elon Musk expressed his hope that the masses are waking up to the migrant invasion. Oh, and they are. You know why? Because Texas, Arizona are shipping them up to where the masses live. We're just flyover country to those people. But they're learning now when their kids get kicked out of school so that migrants, I can't even use the real word, right? We know what the real word is, but these are migrants come and kick their kids out of a school because they need a place to stay, So Elon Musk continues, I hope the public is waking up. Fox News says 7.2 million illegals entered the U.S. under Biden admin, an amount greater than the population of 36 states. The amount of illegals coming into our country, the invasion force, just in the residents' tenure, is 7.2 million, which is greater than the population of 36 states. Does anybody have an alarm, a ding 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 going off when that is said? Does anybody have that? Because I do. I did. Now what I don't know is what. Oh, there they are. I got the comments. So Mike says they make a lot of chips for AI. That's making sense. So yeah, this whole NVIDIA thing might be tied to that. I don't know. But if the population of this invasion force adds up to greater than the population of 36 states. What does that tell us? What does population mean in our government? Well, I know you know, but I'm going to elaborate. Population is the key to power. Because the more people a state has, the more seats they have in our legislature. Why do you think they're inviting all these people? They want them. Why do you think they give out all the goodies? Because they know that's what's going to attract these people. Free stuff, right? Who, if they wanted to attract veterans, they'd give them help. But they don't want to attract veterans. They don't want to help them. They want to help illegal aliens. That's who they want to help. Oh, and they're doing it with your tax money. They're doing it, right? So the fact of the matter is this. The communists, okay? The communists, and these people are not playing at communism, ladies and gents. They're not playing, okay? The mask is off. In case you didn't notice, they're real, okay? I like the term a great in history that was demonized, okay? Joseph McCarthy. What do we know about him? McCarthyism. Oh, you watch the network news. Oh, they'll decry McCarthyism everywhere because he went after communists. And you can't go after communists because the news is communist. There's one guy, great author, M.S. Smith. He had a great moniker for Joe McCarthy. He calls him St. Joseph of Wisconsin. I find that to be very good, and I might use it here on the Bitcoin Otter Show. Anyway, Florida may require history of communism classes in public schools. This is gold. Now, you may think what you think about Ron DeSantis, but he's a good governor, and that's why he needs to stay in Florida. Okay? The Florida State Legislature is one step closer to passing legislation making education on the history, philosophies, and global atrocities of communism mandatory in public schools. Thank you, Lord. We need to learn about communism. Why? Because then we can apply it to our government stooges, commies, because commies going to commie. So now, this is something, again, that we have to dispense with. So intellectually lazy people, we see them all the time, especially those in Harvard. Kill me. Oh, anyway, intellectually lazy people will tell us all the time and gleefully that religion has killed more people throughout the history of the world than any other thing. It's a blatant lie, of course. But what has really done that damage? My opinion, godlessness. If you want to know the central tenet of communism, it's godlessness, right? Nihilism. We believe in nothing, Lebowski. Anyway, St. Joseph of Wisconsin had it right. Let's just say that. Okay. All the elements are in place, and this again is from Zero Hedge. Says Zero Hedge, all the elements are in place for an economic crisis of staggering proportions. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting along a little bit past the halfway point in our show. We're on 97.7 KCYP, the city out of McAllen, Texas. We are filming live in the McAllen Creative Incubator. We got painters, we got artists, we got singers. If you hear, screaming loud heavy metal music, there's a guy next to me teaching 10 and 11-year-olds how to rock and roll to AC/DC. They even had Inagata Davida rocking here the other day. Great stuff. Anyway, the elements are in place for an economic crash, but ladies and gentlemen, we are not about fear porn here. We're not about that. We're not about it. We're not here to scare you. We're here to help you prepare. We're not here to scare. We're here to prepare. Because if you're prepared, you won't be scared. Right? This is the way. Now, what are some of these elements that are in place for this economic crash, according to Zero Hedge? From the federal government on down, society is absolutely drowning in debt. This is true for too many people. And now it appears that our economic problems are about to go to the next level. Consumer spending fell sharply. People got to pay their bills. They're not going to be buying crap, right? Well, some still do. Presenting a potential early danger sign for the economy, the Commerce Department reported Thursday they are up to their eyeballs in debt and delinquency rates have been spiking. Here's a list of layoffs. I won't go through all of them. If you can see, half of my page involves layoffs. Twitch, 35%. Who wants Twitch anyway? Roomba, 31%. You know that thing that goes around your house? The thing, 31% of those people were laid off. Hasbro or toys, 20% of them. LA Times, 20%. You might as well get rid of 100% of LA Times. Spotify, 17%. Levi's, 15%. Xerox, 15%. Qualtrics, 14%. What you got, Renee?
Well, going back towards the AT&T outage.
AT&T outage, yeah?
Yeah. They're saying moms of where they weren't saying anything, but sources are saying that from within the company that it was a possible cyber attack.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a possible cyber attack that happened now.
And this is from AT&T?
Yeah. Like,
whoa.
To a possible cyber attack.
Okay, so it's, we're ramping this story up. So AT&T apparently is saying that is a possible cyber attack. Well, isn't this interesting, ladies and gentlemen? I won't go too much further down these,
Someone within the company was saying that.
Someone within, a confidential source, perhaps, just like the ones they were trying to squeeze out of Ms. Herridge. BlackRock, 3% of the workforce went. What's up? Well, what else?
It was only from two sources within the company.
Two sources, so I guess two are better than one.
Yeah. So.
Thank you very much for that. See, Renee's even in the backdrop there. He's on it. He's on it. I like this. So, if anybody else hears anything about that, let me know. Pixar, 1,300 employees. Citigroup, 20,000 employees. Now, I may hate these corporations, but not their employees, man. 20,000 employees of Citigroup? Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear stuff on the news about the jobs report and how rosy it looks, don't believe it. Meanwhile, the cost of living continues to rise faster than paychecks. The cost of auto insurance jumped 1.4% in January, bringing the total annual gain to 20.6%. I don't know if you have all noticed that your auto insurance is rising. I sure have. In fact, part of it is because my son got a license recently. Yeah. Thousands of dollars a year. Insane. Kevin O'Leary. Okay, this guy used to be on Shark Tank. He's warning that thousands more will fail within the next 3 to 5 years. Regional banks are doomed, apparently. That's not necessarily a bad thing if you're prepared for it, says this Zero Hedge article. It's been almost a year since Silicon Valley Bank collapsed in March, the victim of idiotic management. Isn't it all idiotic at some point? But the sobering reality is the small banking crisis is far from over. In the next 3 to 5 years, thousands more regional institutions will fail. That's why I don't have a dime saved or invested in a single one. Interesting. Not that I invest in banks either. Interestingly, it is at this time that Jeff Bezos has decided to sell off billions of dollars worth of Amazon stock. Did you hear that, Renee? Billions of dollars sold off by Bezos. Wow, what does that tell you, ladies and gents? It tells you land, gold, silver, Bitcoin. Land, gold, silver, Bitcoin. Land, gold, silver, Bitcoin. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just outlining some things that are possibilities. Okay, we have some real estate agents that watch the show that are friends of mine. You need help? You want somebody to help you buy land? BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. Kevin O'Leary also said, this is from The Hill, a rogue judge handed down Trump fraud verdict. Matt, we're going into your comment here about the $355 million, and I'm going to wrap this up here. We're going to wrap up in a little bit, but I want to tell you how it pertains to this particular issue. I was already on the top of the list. No, he's talking about New York, is Kevin O'Leary. It was already on the top of the list of being a loser state. I would never invest in New York now. Okay, $355 million. We're going to wrap up after this, ladies and gentlemen. And I thank you for tuning in. $355 million sounds crazy. Well, because most of us are not billionaires, but also because it's so outrageous. It's just so in a case. And if I'll give a quick wrap up, a quick summation. So he basically valued his Mar-a-Lago estate at a certain number, submitted it to the bank, and the bank either adjusted or did not adjust that number. But regardless, they gave him a loan. He paid back the loan. The bank made money. Never defaulted on the loan, was never late on any payments. Trump, Inc. made money on the investment that they made. The banks made money on Trump. Everybody was happy. The banks love Trump because he pays his bills, right? Who doesn't love Trump? Communists. Unfortunately, we're finding that communists are in every nook and cranny. We need the reincarnation of St. Joseph of Wisconsin anymore. Anyway, so this Engeron creature, judge out of New York, he said, well, $355 million, that ought to be it. What's behind $355 million? Bankruptcy. They want to bankrupt Donald Trump. This is just one tine on the pitchfork the communists are trying to stick in Trump. But every time they try to do this, those tines bend and break because the Teflon Don is impenetrable because he's actually not guilty of any of these crimes. Otter, you expect me to believe 91 indictments and none of them are true? Yes, I do. I do expect you to believe that because no matter how many indictments communists levy against someone, they're going to be false because commie's going to commie. That's what they do. Anyway, this commie Engeron says $355 million is just he's doing his part. I'm sure he's owned by somebody, right? Maybe he went to Epstein's Island. I don't know. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying maybe he did. I don't know. But somebody's got something on the guy. Or maybe he's just a real true believer in communism. We believe in nothing, Lebowski. We're going to stop it and squish it, say the nihilists, which is Engeron. So he's wanting to stop and squish. That's from The Big Lebowski, by the way. I'm doing a riff on The Big Lebowski in case you didn't know. But he's trying to squish any hopes of Trump being on the ballot. It won't work. It will not work, ladies and gentlemen. So that's that. Bridger, good to see you. Mike D'Agostino is on. And Bridger says, the damn commies. You better believe it, Bridger. Curse those commies. Glad to see you, Bridger, by the way. Haven't seen you in a while. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. But before I do, I want to make sure that I give a shout out to one of the two reasons, well, three, God and two people. One of those is Mom with God, and the other one is Dad. Good night, Dad. I love you. So, one of the things that I want to also do is thank you. I want to thank you for this show. Without you, we'd be nowhere. You guys participate. This was a great participation of coming and going, and it was really interesting. We still do need to come out. I don't want Jaime to be able to self-name himself, so we're not going to allow that to happen. Something about we'll come up with something, but Jaime needs an AKA. That being said, I really, again, thank you. I pray for you and your families. May God bless you. May you prosper in the face of challenges that are coming our way, increasing in number and velocity. But we will win. God wins in the end. And we're hooked up to his train. So he's going to take us with him. And we're going to be okay. You need any info on how to invest in Bitcoin? I'm here for you. bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com. Throw me an email. I'll check it out. I'll help you out. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. And thank you for being you. In God's name, we pray. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Have a great Thursday. Have a great week. God bless you and your families. Thank you.
This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.